Escape from Fragility. Beautiful day here in Texas in my front yard. Not too breezy, so I decided to do a video outside. There was a quote I wanted to talk about by George Bernard Shaw. And I might botch this because it's coming from memory, but it goes something to the effect of, the reasonable man adapts himself to the world. The unreasonable man persists in trying to adapt the world to himself. Therefore, all progress is based on all progress comes from the unreasonable man. Now, of course, you have to be careful with this, because if you keep fighting, hitting walls, trying to make the world do what you want, you're going to be severely disappointed, because it doesn't work that way. But the sentiment of trying to create things and build things that's the powerful idea here. And I've studied Stoic philosophy, and the basic premise of Stoicism is that accept things that are outside your control and then focus on things that are inside your control. And the way people respond, the way the future may or may not unfold, and many times these things are very little in our control, or they're completely outside of our control. Okay, so that's where I say you have to be careful with this idea, because you don't want to keep trying to force things and put round objects into a square hole, for example, because it's not going to fit correctly. So how can we think of this idea? The unreasonable man is one that tries to adapt the world to him. Now, the way I take that is to believe that I will manifest my reality, and I will do things to bring about the reality, / world that I want. Okay. Now, what people do with that, though, and whether they pick it up the way I want, or respond the way I want, or I get like the exact results I want, that's the thing that you got to figure out how to come to terms with and have a kind of a healthy relationship with. But the point of saying, I'm going to, from source from inside, I'm going to live the life I want. I'm going to create what I want to create. I'm going to try to bring about things in this world that I think should be there. And as he says, all progress depends on the unreasonable man. It's a good quote, because it's got nuance to it. It's not black or white, and you got to think about it. You got to think about how to apply that to your life and how to think about that, etc. And it's even more important for our times today, because most people default to whatever their status quo is. They default to, whatever their environment is, whatever people around them, whatever things they've done in the past. They don't act like the unreasonable man or woman as much as I think the world needs. And you don't see as many people going out there willing to voice their conflicting opinions, of trying to build things that are new and that are disruptive and that challenge status quo. And yeah, entrepreneurship in the past 10 years has been glorified. I mean, when I was in college 12 years, 15 years ago, I guess at this point, nobody talked about this. Like, you went to school, got a job, whatever. I didn't even know you could own a business. It was so new to me. So we do have a taste of that in our culture. We do have that celebration of the entrepreneur, but we're still talking about like single-digit % of the population. And the internet has definitely unlocked the opportunity for us to do things and create content and build things and do art and get attention without having to go through gatekeepers and through traditional modalities. And that's amazing. But I still see a very small percentage of people taking advantage of this. And I see far more people using something like the internet and social media to just become even stronger carbon copies of people around them or people they follow, whatever. It's interesting. I've thought about this concept of the 1% always being the 1%. Why do I think that the 1% will always be the 1%? Because the 1%, regardless of if you have all the information in the world and you have like the internet, right? The 1% will sift through, they'll find the signal, they'll ignore the noise, and they'll get to work and they'll get results. Whereas with something like the internet, which has quite literally more information than we could ever consume in 1,000 lifetimes, most people get caught up in the noise. They can't separate the signal. They can't tune out certain things and decide and go strong onto one path. And so they just end up kind of going in a bunch of different ways, or just running around aimlessly, and they don't get results as a result. And they have a lot of false starts. They do different things. They have a new idea every other week or whatever, and they do a little bit and they stop. So, yeah, the quote, what to call this video, I'm not sure, but it's just something to think about. Like, are you going out into the world and living your life in a way to which you want to bring about the world, your reality that you want, that you think it should be? Are you putting effort into that? Or are you just falling into the default mode that everyone else is doing or has told you is the way to go? And honestly, I think that's what it is for most people. Like, if you're not going to be an entrepreneur and you're not going to try to change the world with some new startup or company or do something or whatever, like, that's fine. Like, that's only going to be a small percent of the population, to be honest. But you can forge your own path in life and live a life true to yourself, that is unique, that is original, and that doesn't just default to the culture or the society or the environment that you were born into. And that's what we need more of. We need more sovereign individuals willing to challenge the status quo and willing to call BS when it's BS, call a spade a spade. Because if we have more of this homogenized culture and we try to cancel everything that's even remotely offensive or that hurts people's feelings, and we try to distribute wealth because we think that's more fair, whatever, I mean, we're going to end up another statistic of history and all the socialist communist examples that we already have thus far. Because every generation thinks that they can do it different. And it seems like they say as history repeats itself, you see these trends in society and culture where people, they didn't live through the hardship of World War or communism or socialism. So, in a lot of cases today, they don't even understand history or know anything about it. And so they just convince themselves that, the things that they think is based on truth, or they'll do it the right way, or they have good intentions and so they can do it right or whatever. It's just ridiculous. So, yeah. It's based on the unreasonable man or woman. That's how change progresses. And in your own life, if you're not willing to be unreasonable to the things that have been defaulted for you, your upbringing, society, culture, your workplace, your family, your friends, the things they expect of you, if you're not willing to continually put out like who you are and who you want to be and live your truth, then, you won't have change in your life. Like you have to be unreasonable for a period of time until the things around you adapt to you and who you are. And it doesn't always have to be super conflict-ridden either. Like, you don't have to be a rebel and draw a bunch of attention to yourself. You can just kind of do things and communicate clearly and calmly and just say, like, this is who I am, or that's not for me. I think we always get this idea of rebellion as having to be so contentious and so kind of fighting, but like, when you live who you are and you're honest and straightforward and with people about who you are, what you want, what you don't want, what you'll accept, what you won't accept. Well, yeah, some people will kick and scream because they don't like it. They want to change you. But those people will filter themselves out. They'll eventually just bounce off as long as you make sure that you stick to your truth. So just some thoughts on a beautiful day. I hope this motivates you to do something. I already got somebody walking over here to interrupt my video. And so subscribe for more. I'm putting out a video a day, big ideas, big topics, help you level up, become self-aware, think better, hopefully. And I look forward to talking with you in the comments and just growing on this journey we call life.